All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Most High and His only begotten Son. Call Layim La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Debarns to the apostles, elders, great millstone, root and teach well. Wa Barakathum to the whole full elect. All right, today through the Spirit, I want to go into a video, entitled Gluttony and covetousness, right? Because that's basically what's pushed out in this world is everybody wants to overly indulge in everything, and it leads to them being in the spirit of gluttony or being in the spirit of over like desiring things way too much, and it destroys them. Whether that be being desirous of trying to have glory or status in this world, whether that be trying to be richer than everybody else, like you trying to be like the Edomites, you're Jake, you trying to, get to the trillions like these Edomites, not understanding that you gotta actually be going back to one of them. Like you gotta be one of the little hat, you gotta be in that family line, and you have to indulge in all types of wickedness just to even get in the high millions and billions. And they ain't trillionaires. So these are various things that this world pushes out on people and is destroying people. You see? You can just see the conduct of a lot of these people. They're being destroyed by the way they live their life. Right? So I want to go into this video. And what made me want to do this video is, I can get this pulled up real quick. Right? Let's go here. Let's go. All right, it says, the origins of man versus food contest. Because this is what I seen like multiple videos of this shit. I'm like, God damn, niggas gluttonous as hell. They doing all that just to get status or fame in the world, trying to basically ultimately make their mark. And they're going to the means of, I'm finna just eat myself to goddamn death. You see? But it says the origin of man versus food contest stems from the long history of competitive eating in America. See, America, Babylon the Great, that wine. Pushing that covetous spirit of everybody trying to go after their lust, right? It says, which predates the show by centuries and the 2008 Travel Channel show, Man vs. Food, that popularized these challenges. The show, originally hosted by Adam Richman, featured large or spicy eating challenges at local restaurants and was so popular that it inspired an increase in similar food challenges across the United States and internationally. Early competitive eating events date back to at least the 1878 pie eating tournament in Toronto. And the 4th of July celebrations that became popular in the 19th century, the Pacific 72-ounce steak challenge by the Big Texan Steak Ranch in Amarillo was created in 1962 and was featured in the first episode of the show, which brought natural attention, right? And when you eat too much of that spicy shit, that shit can fuck your lining of your stomach up, right? And they even have, it just said, large items. So you just gonna eat up all that shit that your body, because most the average person, they don't get enough fiber and they don't get enough of those, things like diuretics, those herbs and stuff that'll help them clean their system out. They don't get enough of that in their diet. So they eating up all this shit and their body ain't even digesting that shit down. So they'll get fucked up eating all that shit. Not because they're not even pushing none of that shit out. It's not being cleaned out of their system. So ultimately, they're destroying their body for the sake of getting glory, status, and making a name for themselves, right? Which is all covetousness and gluttony, you see? And that's what you see this world pushes. And I got precepts to correct that, man. This is Proverbs 23 and 19. It says, Hear thou, my son, and be wise, and guide thine heart in a way. Be not among wine bibblers, among riotous eaters of the flesh, right? And that's what they are. I've seen like 3 or 4 videos on my feed of dudes doing eating contests. Nigga fucking eating like he had like 6, 7 cheeseburgers. Nigga eating a cheeseburger, dipping the shit in the water, and it got the fucking meat and shit in the water, and this nigga drinking that shit. It's like, that's disgusting. Come on, yo. That shit is ridiculous, man. And that's the type of stuff that you see in America. All types of folly. And he's destroying his damn body. Eating all that shit. And they said wine bibblers because niggas drink their ass off. Just check out one of these YN videos and they at them parties. Niggas be drinking their ass off, about falling out, doing all types of crazy shit. Probably doubling into adultery and, doing all types of wicked ass things, man. But that's because of them living that type of lifestyle. It says, verse 21, it says, for the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags, right? I want to get that word glutton real quick. That's what I'm going to in this video. We got to beware of that type of spirit, which Esau pushes on people. And I want to get the Strong's definition. The word is the law, by the way. The Strong's right here, that goes with this scripture right here, definition 2. It says to make light of. It says to be lavish with squander, especially with gluttony. Now, what does that mean? Lavish, check this, get the word lavish first. Okay. So lavish means expending or bestowing profusely, right? Expended or produced in abundance. So it's like an abundance or excess. It's like excess, right? So it said lavish, right? So excess, and then it says squander, waste, recklessness. It says waste, something especially in money or time. You see? That's what that goddamn food is. Waste. It's trash. And it says their abundance is filled. They're filled with an abundance or a lot of that bullshit ass food. So that's one of the definitions of lavish for that word glutton. Because basically it's just a greedy ass person. You see? Overindulge. That's what Babylon the Great pushes, to overindulge in things, man. And that also can extend out to what we're going into as well, coveting. You see? Because this, like with social media, it causes people to like look at what everybody else got and be like, dang, I ain't got enough, or I wish I had this and I want that. You see? So I want to go into gluttony, being greedy and covetous, because really coveting and greed they go hand in hand. You being gluttonous is damn near the same as you being covetous, because you have a super large lust for something that you don't like. It's basically a strong desire, of something. So you got a strong desire of trying to get money or trying to get women, and it can mean it's somebody else's woman. You see? So this is why the scriptures condemn that, being covetous, right? This is Exodus chapter 20 and verse 17. It says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's." And that can include the status or glory somebody has, right? And that's what you see a lot of people. They want to be the next thing. Like that movie, Him. He was trying to take that guy's spot as being a GOAT, take his greatness, right? You get that word. It says chamad. All right. It says to desire, covet, to take pleasure in. It says to desire greatly desire, right? And people greatly desire wickedness in this society because they know that'll lead to them being exalted in this society. They want to be a rapper rapping about hood nigga shit. They want to be a woman rapping about twerking, shaking ass, and tricking on niggas and shit, man. Right? So people do that because they strongly desire that name for themselves, and it's destroying them in that process. That's why a nigga will do the eating contest. 'Cause that's what it made me think about. Overly indulgent niggas do all them damn drugs because they want to be cool to the sight of everybody. They trying all these drugs on camera and shit, challenges and shit. All that shit is all covetous for being famous or having glory on this side. Right? Let's get the next one. It's Proverbs 3, verse 30 and 31. It says, "Strive not with a man without cause. If he have done thee no harm." That means you're supposed to live peaceably. Seek to live peaceably with all men. If you can avoid a situation, if you can be cool, keep it cool, man. Especially you at the camp. If a situation is diffusable, diffuse that shit. You gonna hit that nigga with a fucking 2-3-2. Drop his ass on the ground. Then your hands fucked up and he about to go to jail. Nah, man, you're supposed to seek to use wisdom, try and diffuse the situation. You see? You do that, and then now brothers getting locked up and all this other shit, man. Your hands all fucked up. You're supposed to try and be at peace. For situations avoidable, you avoid it. But somebody put their hands on you, that's different. But if it's just like somebody's verbally, if you can diffuse it, then diffuse it. You see, it says, verse 31, it says, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways," man. So people envy Esau. Esau is covetous and takes everything, and He overindulges in everything. He overdoes it. You see? Because of his greed, he's destroying everybody and everything. His greed for power, he wants to be like the Most High. And he's willing to go to matters of destroying everybody. Creating all these fake foods and all this shit that's making people die. So on and so forth. He's doing all type of this stuff to keep the pop down so he can control more of us like he's the Most High. And our people are following his ways. They trying to be, they coveting, and it's leading to them not being satisfied with what the Most High gave them. So we got to be careful with that. This society, social media, and all that pushes that kind of spirit on you, make you want to have what you don't like. The Most High can bless you with certain things, and you'll just overlook that, trying to be like somebody else. And you won't have gratitude for what the Most High gave you, what the Lord gave to you. You see, and that's what the society pushes. So we got to be aware of that. Niggas do any type of challenge just to get rich, instead of just working for it. The Most High likes people to earn stuff. He's the ultimate father. The Lord wants you to earn everything with him. He don't want to just give you shit. You got to earn it. And this society makes it where people want to find a quick come up, right? And if that quick come up means they could die in the process or they can get fucked up, they don't care. They just want to get there. All right, now I want to go here. Because this is the spirit. This is the spirit that we got to try and maintain through the spirit. This is 1 Timothy 6 and 7. It takes faith to be in this mindset. For we are brought into this world with nothing, and it is certain that we cannot carry nothing out. That means your fame, your glory, your status, your honor. It's not going to matter when you die. Because you don't hear niggas talking about Michael Jackson like that no more. He's still the king of pop, but he's not talked about like that. Like he was maybe like the first little time before he died. You see? And even when you look at like old school NBA players, now it's Michael Jordan. Well, guess what? People were talking about Dr. J at first. You see? But that glory and that status, it goes away. Niggas don't even bring up Martin Luther King like that no more. Because when you die, it doesn't follow. It says, verse 8, it says that having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. So, you be satisfied. Get that word content real quick. It says, archeo, right? It says to be possessed of unfailing strength, to be strong, to be suffice, to be enough, to defend, to ward off, to be satisfied. That's what that is, satisfied. You good, right? To be satisfied or good, man, right? So having what you need, you satisfied because the Lord giving us everything we need to do this work. Now, will the Lord bless you with other things that you work for? Yeah. Brothers might do some schooling or trade school or do certain things to get more money, and whatever the case may be, you earned it. So then the Lord bless you with some more stuff. You see? But you're not in the spirit of you're not in the spirit of thinking it's the end all be all. So you just all into the stuff, but you just know that, hey, you got to do what you got to do until Yahweh Shah returns. And you're not going to complain about nothing. You just know that, hey, it's got to have patience. The Lord will eventually give me a better situation until we get here. This is verse 9. It says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. They trying to get that bag. They start doing all types of orgies and bestiality, sexual acts. That's what fornication means. Illicit sexual acts, adultery. They be wife swapping. They be doing all types of orgies and all types of weird, wicked ass shit. To really, all that stuff all goes back to idol worship. That's how you would worship those various idols. And they make these celebrities and these dudes that's famous, they make them partake in those acts to get fame and glory and status. You see? So that's what you have to dabble into when you want to get rich and be one of the top guys. Look at Alazar. Look at him. You see that thing that happened with that woman he was dealing with. Then you see him on No Jumper podcast and all this BS that he's doing. You see? That's what happens when you get that covered after that fame and that status and that glory. You get consumed with that, trying to be rich. Right? It says, 1 Timothy 6 and 9, it says, they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Right? Because it says what? For the love of money is the root of all evil. There's nothing wrong with having money, but when you love it, You coveting after that shit. You just earnestly desire. That's like you had that super strong earnest desire of it to the point where you'll do anything for it. That's the problem. Making money ain't nothing wrong with that. You can make as much money as you can. You know, as long as you keep the Lord first, you can make as much money as you can. If you can get some assets, if you can, pick up other jobs, do whatever you got to do, you can do that. Just make sure the Lord is number one. He's prioritized. And you have time to serve the Lord. It says, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. That's what happens to the majority of our people. Take 501c3 government charters and they get to chasing that bag and they start just completely diverting from the faith. And that's what they were doing back then too. Getting all tight with the Romans, worshiping their idols. You see? To the point now where they basically just not even following Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. They basically have that worldly, their doctrine is being foundationized to be like a worldly appearance. A beautiful garment to the sights of the world instead of the beautiful sight to the Most High. Which if your doctrine is foundationized off serving the Lord, people ain't gonna accept it. They ain't gonna deal with that shit like that. That's why the scriptures speak about if a man shall live godly, he shall suffer persecution. You see? Now I want to get these I got 4 more precepts. This is Sirach, chapter 9 and verse 11. It says, envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end, right? Because like a lot of these guys, they're wicked as hell and they just living good. A lot of these rappers, they look like they're living good, but we see through that shit. They're in unpaid backable deaths. That's why they got to keep doing the rituals and all that bullshit. You see, they got to, Esau made them forsake family members they loved, made them do all types of, I can't even say the word, but all types of wicked shit. Fruit Loop activities, just so they can get that bag, right? And they got the shit on camera, drug their ass up. That shit fucking those guys up, man. You see, that shit has a trauma in them. So they ain't really living good like people think on the camera. People can look good on the camera and they be suffering. Like a lot of these athletes, you'll see them now. They was once the man making hella money and shit. Now you look at him now. Shit, nigga struggling. He coming out now like, yeah, man, my record label was taking all my money. They was doing this. Like they fucked me over. They this and that. But they was looking good a couple of years ago. That's how you know you can't go off of that social media shit. Be fake. Verse 12, it says, it's witchcraft. It says, delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember that they shall not go unpunished in their grave, unto their grave. They got a judgment coming. You see? So don't think niggas can escape the Lord's judgment because they got money. You can be on any kind of level and the Lord will still fuck you up for the way you live your life. You see? The Lord speaks on that. That's Revelation 21. It names all those wicked things, unfaithful and all that shit. So, all these people that's diverting from the faith, that's basically, they basically conforming to the image of this world, which is lawless, this beast system. They gonna be destroyed, man. So we can't be getting that spirit of trying to desire or, because like when you coveting, it'll lead to you envying because you want what somebody else got. This is verse Sirach 30. Let me get verse 24. It says, envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. You see, in this chapter goes like having a heavy mind. And it can lead to you having a heavy mind trying to covet after somebody else's stuff. Just be satisfied with the Lord gave you and then know that the Lord is the ultimate Father. He wants us to earn stuff. So through patience and through hard work, Most High will give you a better situation. But that's how the Lord does it. He ain't just going to give it. He don't hand stuff out. The Lord make you earn it the right way. So it ain't going to be no easy path, but the Lord will increase your situation, but it's going to take time. That's how the Heavenly Father works. He's going to give you exactly what you need to make it. And some brothers may get a little more, but that brother has a spirit to endure that and still keep the ministry number one. Not everybody has a spirit to make a lot of money and be more successful and still prioritize the ministry. So the brothers that do, they will. And if you're not, just know that Yahushua is going to reward you for that sacrifice you had to put out right now. That's you forsaken. This is Sirach known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 14, and I'm going to give verse 8. It says, the envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men, right? That's what happens. When you covet, you got that strong desire for what somebody else got. This turns into hate. That's why a dude will murder somebody because they grieve over somebody so much that envy and hate grows. That's why the scriptures warn us that if we ever have an issue with a brother, you come and talk to that brother about it. You know, you confront the situation. Let the brother know, hey, bro, I ain't like how this was. Because, like, when you let that fester, that hate or that envy, then it'll lead to, you know, a big thing happening. This verse 9, it says, a covetous man, eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul, right? And that's what a covetous man do. He's not satisfied. I always got to have more, greedy. And when somebody's greedy, that's going to lead to them not able to be charitable. And that's one of the things one of the most important things the Lord tells us about is charity. So if you ain't charitable amongst other brethren, then guess what? The Lord ain't gonna be fucking with you like that. The Lord said charity covereth the multitude of sins. So if you all covetous, you greedy, you ain't gonna be covetous. I mean, you ain't gonna be charitable. You see? Because you two wanting to have too much for yourself and not satisfied, right? All you care about is your own pleasure. This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 39. It says, wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy and forbid not to speak with tongues, man. So we got to earnestly desire to do this work. Because, like, prophesy means say before it happens, which is action word right here. It says what? To be a prophet, speak forth, divine inspiration, utter forth, declare. It says the idea of foretelling future events pertaining to the kingdom. You see? So that's what we're supposed to covet to do this work. Strongly desire to serve the Lord, man. So that's the point I wanted to go into. Lord willing, this lesson edified. I like to end it off by saying, call hello, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, Debar City Apostle, Elders, Great Millstone, Room Teach Well. So next time, call my Shalom.